how to put a heat map chart here in Excel. A heat map chart is the one that we are used to see in a football match, for example, in a football field, where we can see where the players or the ball spend the most of the time during the match, for example. So a heat map chart here in Excel can be very useful, and you can make it just using a couple of columns, 1, 2, 3 columns to be more precise. However, if you have a large data set than mine, it's gonna work too, okay? The step-by-step that I'm gonna give to you right here is gonna work. So first thing that we need to do, if you just take a look here in your heat map, I need to use two informations, two categories, one in the columns and one category here for the rows, okay? So I have two different categories, one in the columns and one in the rows. And we can just analyze a bunch of values here. So let's say I want to see which countries and which one of the items that I have sell the most. So I want to see which is the best country, the top and the bottom, and which one of these items are the top and the bottom. So let's take a look here first in the columns. I can see that Belgium and Spain are not that good because they are head. And if you are the red color, it means it's not sell a lot. The number is small. However, if I take a look here in Portugal, for example, Portugal and France, and of course Italy, mainly Italy, I can see that Italy is the country that I just sell the most here in my products. Everything here is in green, and in Portugal and France is kind of yellowish, okay? So it's good too. But Italy is the better country that I have here. And if I take a look here in the rows, I can see each one of the items. So let's say here the item D and the item I, for example, is not that good because all the cells in the rows in this row, item D and the item I, is reddish. So that way I can see maybe it's not a good idea to keep in selling these two items. Regardless, these two items I can see here, the item H, that I sell it a lot because all the values here in the item H are green. So that way it indicates to me that the item H sells a lot. So that way we can see the heat map is good to make analysis when you have more than just one category, for example. You can analyze two different informations at the same time. So, for example, what is the best country to sell, the best city, the best region, the best month of the year, and of course, what is the best items, the best products, the best services. Let's find out how can you do it step by step from scratch. And the first thing I need to use here is from my data set. And the first step is to just take the unique values for your first category, for your first column, and then you're gonna take the unique values of your second column that you have, okay? Two categories, the first category and the second one. I'm gonna just arrange these two categories here. The first one is gonna be in columns, and the second one is gonna be in rows. And to just fill all the cells that is gonna make up our heat map, we can use the sumIf function because I need to sum all the values that are from Belgium, for example, in this first cell right here. And however, not all the values that I want to sum in the Belgium, just the values that correspond, that match with the item A. And then, for example, here I want to sum all the items from the country France. However, just not all the items, but only the items E, for example. So let's go here, click in the cell, equal sign, sumIf. There's two functions that look like each other. However, there is some difference between sumIf and sumIfs in Excel. The first one, sumIf, is just gonna allow you to use just one single criteria, one condition. So for example, here I have the columns that are one criteria and the rows that are my second criteria. So I have here two different criteria to use. So I cannot use the sumIf in Excel. I need to use sumIfs because I have just more than one condition to use. So let me just select the sumIfs in Excel, double click it, 1, 2, OK. Now the first thing that sumIfs function is asking me is what is my sum range? And my sum range is right here, the entire column B, the sales, the value that I have, okay? So I select all the column B. It's very important to use here the F4 key to lock, to freeze the reference of the column B, comma, Now I need to select the criteria range number 1, the first criteria range. The first criteria range can be the items, and it's very important to F4 key to lock the reference, comma. Now the function is asking me what is my first criteria. As my first range is the item, my first criteria needs to be the item too. So let me select here the item A, and one more time I'm gonna press F4 key. However, I just gonna lock the reference of the column, so I'm just gonna let the $sign before the letter F, $sign F and the number 4, okay? Comma again. Now the second criteria range can be the country, the column C, the entire column, F4 key to lock the reference, comma, and my second criteria S. My second range criteria is the country. My second criteria only can be the country itself, the name. Let me just lock the reference, only the line, okay? So I'm just gonna use here the $sign only before the number, not before the letter, but just before the number. Now I can just press enter, and okay, here I have my sum for all the sales that happened in Belgium for the item A. Now I can Control C, select everyone that I have here, Control V to make sure all the cells contain the same function, sumIfs function. And it's very important to just give a quick look here to see if the sumIfs function is working corrected in every position that we have here. Okay, everything is correct, and we basically done. One thing you can do here is just select everyone, click here in the home tab and put everyone here in borders, so all borders. And one more thing you can do is select just the values. Again, here in the home tab we can go to condition formatting and select color scales and select here this first option. Now we have our heat map here in Excel, and we of course can see the better options to sell, the better countries and the better items that we have, or of course you can see better category here in the column, and what is the better category here in the rows that we have. And if you want to change these colors here, if you want to change the pattern, like for example you don't like to use red or green or yellow, you can change it. You just need to click in whatever place you want here in the cell, and then you go to home, condition formatting again, click here in manage rules, and here you have your graded color scale that you just created. You can double click it and you can change here the color. So let's say for the lowest color I want to use a red color, for the middle color I want to use let's say, yeah, it can be a yellow one. However, for the highest color I want to use a blue, for example. I can click here in OK, apply OK again, and look, here is my heat map in Excel. I hope this video can help you out, and if you want to change the colors or even change the position, instead of just using the first category as columns, you can use the first category as rows, and of course use the rows as the columns. If it is just with you, okay, you can change it. It doesn't matter the position. What is really important here is to the analysis works, okay? So I really hope this video can help you out, and if you have any questions, just comment down below because I'm gonna help you out, and I see you tomorrow. As every day has a new video, I see you there.